If you work as an executive coach in an organizational development process and you are planning a leadership workshop with the top manager and his directors, then you have to consider how to deal with the information you got out of the interviews you are conducting in front of such a leadership workshop. So we conduct interviews with the directors, with their employees, associates, so sub-leaders, etc. And then we put the material together, and depending on the level of anxiety and depending on the level of pressure in the organization, we have a wide range of documentation, openness in documentation. Either we are very open by bringing in the commands, the original commands by the associates, by the employees and sub-leaders, as well as the directors, where we cluster these commands and bring it to some subtitles, so to say, or we summarize. The more we summarize, the more the openness will go down, it will be more closed, and the information will be safer for getting feedback, so to say, in front of colleagues, in front of associates of this top manager and of these directors as well. So in this process, we will choose the middle way. We will summarize and we will bring in thesis about the material we have gotten out of the interviews, our observations, as well as sub-workshops we conducted in front of this leadership workshop. And now the point is to give this feedback to the top manager and his unit directors. And what we did is, although we asked about the top manager as well, about his leadership style, about how he pushes the targets, and all the information, commands the people made concerning the top manager, we put together. And at the very last moment, I have decided to take this material out of the overall material, out of the overall presentation. So we will present the summary of the findings, so to say, and the thesis of us, external executive coaches and consultants. And beside this, I have material for the one-on-one executive coachings with the top manager. This I will give him back in the feedback sessions, in the coaching sessions. And this I made transparent at the beginning of the workshop, and this was accepted because by doing so he could save his face on the one hand. The other ones could be safe as well, because if I confront them with the material they have said to us in one-on-one interviews, they have to open themselves. If they don't open themselves, then at least we as external can see how they behave in a critical situation, how strong they are, how much leadership they show, how much personal authority they show by talking openly and by sticking to that what they said beforehand in the one-on-ones. So to avoid this confrontational situation in this process, so one process can be very confrontational, but you have, as I said, to consider in which phase you are, in which organization you are, what the climate of this organization is, what the climate and what the culture at that moment is. It can be in a change, and then you have to consider this, that the people are very nervous. They don't know really where they will end up in the upcoming organization. So you have to run this process in a way carefully, and so you have to give them a safe place for dialogue and reflection. And if you confront too much, too heavily, maybe they can't contain it. You have to be a container yourself, and the overall workshop has to be a container also. So it has to contain the anxieties, the pressure, the sorrows, the resistance and the inner resistance as well of the leaders. So this is one example where it can work if you decide, and you have to decide also from your feelings and also from your thinking and dialogue in your executive coaching team, how you proceed and how you give feedback give back the data feedback process, it's not always the same.